is because it takes 21 days for the mind to rewire itself to new thought patterns. So, when we
Mm.
take up any activity which is related to mudita, that is that which brings happiness to others and us, then we will definitely feel purposeful and resourceful. So, when one consciously works to overcome scarcity mindset, clarity of purpose definitely starts forming. And she
Mm.
would say that I don't know what to do with my life and I'm totally disgusted. So,
Yeah.
during the therapy sessions, we uncovered that she was hanging to a lot of negative looping thoughts. One negative to negative, negative, negative. And so many times we just try to brush everything under the carpet and say, okay, everything's going to be fine. No, it'll not be, because sometimes in the future it may just have a snowball effect.
Welcome everybody to the Ambitious Creators podcast. My name is Edwin and our today's guest is Suchita Sunjay. She's a clinical hypnotherapist and she has helped over hundreds of patients across the world with fighting their depressions, gaining back clarity in life and also finding their true purpose. And in this episode we covered exactly these topics: the importance of having a purpose, how to find your purpose and how to get clarity in your life. So watch the entire video and enjoy. Hello Suchita, nice to have you here.
Hi, Edwin. I'm happy to be on your podcast today.
Thank you. You are a clinical hypnotherapist and a mindset coach, right?
That's right.
Yeah. So could you tell me a little bit what you're doing with your patients and how you are helping them?
I help them to uncover what is holding them back by using hypnosis. So, why do we
Mm.
use hypnosis? Is because the subconscious patterns, which unknowingly we would have wired right from the conditional behaviors that we would have been brought up with. So, these are some things that get uncovered during hypnosis. And in the same hypnotic state, rewiring of the new thought patterns is done, and also the meaning attached to those old patterns is changed.
Oh, okay.
Thereby, I also give a customized therapy recording so that they can listen to it for a period of 21 days. And why do we say 21 days? Is because it takes 21 days for the mind to rewire itself to new thought patterns. So,
Mm.
this is how I help my clients. I normally help them with stress, anxiety, depression, and other mindset issues like lack of self esteem, self
Mm.
love, and self worth. So many other things along with this. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Was it not also like this that it takes like for a new habit to form, it takes also something like 21 days or a little longer? I'm not sure.
21 days is a minimum amount required, definitely.
Mm.
So that's why normally I tell my clients to listen to the recording at least twice in a day,
Mm.
so that their mind starts getting used to that new thought patterns and behaviors. So even if it does, actually it starts rolling at least.
Mm. Mm.
And later on, it becomes a pattern. Sometimes the results are just immediate, you know, and
Okay.
sometimes it may take that 21 days to really have the new thought patterns. And sometimes it will take that a little amount of time. And
Mm.
if they just look back 3 months before and see and compare themselves for the current state, they would be a huge shift, definitely.
Mm. And your current clients, are there like what are the ages usually? Is there like some commonalities that you see or
I
yeah.
normally see clients from age 18 plus, and of course, I've
Mm.
even seen clients who are 65 and above. So, yeah.
Yeah. You also mentioned purpose, right?
Yeah.
That you are helping people find their purpose, and maybe you can tell me a little bit about this, how to find your purpose or how to get clarity over this, or even
That's
why should we have a purpose? Maybe we start at the beginning.
that's a very good question, Edwin. I think many people are struggling with that, especially the youth of today. Uh,
Mm.
so, uh, to answer this question, I would probably give myself some more questions.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, and that is,
Yeah.
who am I? What am I doing? What am I good at? What are my abilities?
Mm.
How would my life look if I did not have a purpose? And how will I be feeling every day? Will I wake up with enthusiasm if I do not have a purpose? And also, how would my life look 20 years ahead if I don't have a purposeful life?
Mm.
Will I be happy with the past 20 years? Will I feel complete and whole? So these whys are very, very important to get. I mean, this way we can get to our why. And it's very
Mm,
important to get to our whys to have a very good purpose in our life.
mm,
So I
mm,
remember way back when I was just living without any goal or a purpose, and I felt really flat. Today, I feel complete and whole because I have made it my purpose to help people have happy minds and abundant lives. So, anything that we do which brings happiness to us as well as others is something that is very fulfilling and
mm,
purposeful. So this is a concept of mudita which our guru has shared. Since we both are students of yoga, we know how important mudita is. So when we
mm.
take up any activity which is related to mudita, that is that which brings happiness to others and us, then we will definitely feel purposeful and resourceful.
Yeah, yeah, really nice insights. I myself can also say this. Before I was doing yoga, I was also just wandering around in this world, not knowing what to do. And if I look back, it's like a really gray life, gray time of my life, because you have also no success in a way, because you feel like you are not changing in any way, and it feels like you're not moving, and it's not like really nice to live like this. And many in my age especially also struggle with this, and because there is no purpose, I believe there is no progress. And can you maybe tell me how to get clarity? How do I find my purpose, or at least start like asking me this question and maybe find an answer eventually?
Clarity of purpose can come only when one has good health,
Mm,
and the second one is also great mindset.
mm-hmm,
So again, let me just get to this part of good health. Good health just does not mean having good health. It also means having good energy.
mm,
And the second thing is about the right mindset. As regards to the mindset, the most important thing to avoid is scarcity mindset, and we should avoid it like it is plague.
mm,
So what is scarcity mindset? These thinkings in the mind which keeps telling, I am not good enough, I'm not lovable, I don't belong, I don't fit in, I am different, and money does not come to me easily. I'm always sick. I don't have time for my own self. My
mm,
relationships are not great. So all these are scarcity mindset.
yeah,
Already living in scarce. So when one consciously works to overcome scarcity mindset, clarity of purpose definitely starts forming.
yeah, I see this. I also had like these thought patterns in my mind which constantly caused me to lose energy and don't have any clarity, because what we also learned from Guruji, that to have clarity, it costs a lot of energy, if we want to put it like this. And because of these thought patterns that we have, we already make our lives harder because we believe we are not good enough, or um, yeah, that we are not like that we are lacking something. And by thinking like this, by having a mindset like this, we automatically make it harder to grow or grow at all.
Yeah, absolutely. So in fact, I had a client who came and said, I feel stuck and lost. And she
Mm,
would say that I don't know what to do with my life and I'm totally disgusted. The word
mm,
bibitsa, which our guru also tells, that
mm,
she was totally disgusted with the way she was and she felt even lifeless. So
yeah.
during the therapy sessions, we uncovered that she was hanging to a lot of negative looping thoughts, one negative to negative, 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 and her whole
Mm,
mind was blocked and it had a lot of mind fog.
mm,
This again was rooted to the old traumatic incidences which she had in her childhood of coming from a dysfunctional family.
mm,
So she carried it all along with her. So working on these aspects helped her to identify what exactly she wanted to do with her life. Today, she's doing something related to helping children.
mm. I
So,
think she, yeah,
yeah,
I only, sorry, she already came like to the point where she at least were honest to herself and said that she's disgusted with her life, because most of the people are telling themselves, yeah, it's fine, I'm not really happy, but they're not really doing anything with it. And then it seems like that we often lie to ourselves and don't even come to the point where we say, like, this is not the way I want to live. And she were at this point, and I also remember being at this point multiple times in my life, where I told myself, I don't want to live like this. I'm not happy with like living like this, and I need to change something. I didn't knew exactly what to change, but I at least had the starting point, and I went into it. And with the time, then the answers revealed to myself.
That's great. I would like to applaud you for this.
Thank you.
Yeah, Edwin, I have a question to ask you. Why do you think the youth of today are losing a lot of energy and they're
Mm.
not even able to have the right mindset?
Yeah, what I observed with myself is that we are really consumed by so many things nowadays, and overstimulation is one of the major energy leaks that we have. And yeah, how to explain overstimulation? It's like we have TikTok, we have YouTube, Instagram. All the time, there is something that is stimulating our minds and bringing our attention away from our actual self, and somewhere we project it on something else. And there are so many options that we have where we can put our attention to, and it all leads to only getting cheap dopamine, and we get um, addicted to it, because we don't have to do anything. We don't have to do anything to watch reels, but it is like really fun to watch reels because there's something coming, uh, like something new coming all the time. And this is one of the major energy leaks, I believe, that we have, which are like, it's like sabotaging ourselves to even get to the point of growing, because we don't put our attention to the present moment where we see that we are not happy with ourselves and that we want to change. We rather distract this feeling that we have of unhappiness and suppress it, and constantly feed our minds with some kind of information which brings us away from the present reality in which we live in, actually, like in which we live in now. And there are a few more, especially with men. I think masturbation and ejaculation is one of the major points why men leak energy. It's just yeah, I think this is like a separate podcast also, because there's so much to talk about this part of the men. And our Guruji is also talking about how women mostly lose their energy by, I forgot the word, but by fantasies, how the life should be and all of this. But I'm not really good at this right now. So, yeah. And these are the major energy leaks, I think, that we have. And in another way, we can also put this, that these are kind of addictions that put us away from the present moment. And I was wondering, you probably had a lot of patients that were struggling with addictions, and how do you get rid of them? Are there ways?
One of the most important thing to first talk about is how does these addictions arise?
Mm, yeah.
So the first thing is suppression of pain.
Mm,
The second thing is trying to fit in. Oh, he's doing some cool things. Let me get into that.
mm,
Third is feeling empty inside always, or trying to be in that FOMO state, like fear of missing out.
yeah.
Fourth is lack of social connectivity.
Mm,
One thing that we forget is we are all social beings, and the connection is the most important thing that we should have in our lives. Even when we were cavemen, long back, like,
yeah.
eons ago, all the humans tried to stay together
Yeah,
and they were
I
there
think
for each other.
yeah, back then it's impossible, I think, to survive alone. We needed like a tribe to have different kind of works, so we can like put our energy together and survive this
Yes,
time.
absolutely. So, in fact, in the olden days, if you go back to the king's days and things like that, the most strongest punishment that somebody could get was banishment from the kingdom.
Mm, mm,
That was they socially alienate you so that there's a slow death.
yeah, kind of like
So,
prison, not like exactly, but
yeah. So, reliving also the pains and traumas and again and not expressing them leads to addictions. So, also inability to even be vulnerable and seek support
Mm-hmm.
will lead to addictions. Many don't even realize that it is okay to be vulnerable. In fact, being vulnerable is a strength, not weakness.
Mm.
So, the first step to even trying to overcome addiction is to start telling yourself, I acknowledge this pain within me and I want to change. So, the discuss factor should be so high that
Mm.
they have to start changing.
Yeah.
So, only people who are ready can change.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, the part that you where you said that we feel empty inside, and this is why one of the reasons why we get addicted to things. I think this is also a part when we have a purpose, then we automatically don't feel empty because there is something that we have to do, we can do, and some we can like invest our energy towards our purpose. So I found myself also not having much time to spend on like watching podcasts or watching TikToks and all of this when I have a purpose, because there is something that I can work towards, and I also like and love to work towards it because it is my purpose. I feel like I want to do this, and it also doesn't feel like work or something that I don't want to do or that I want to avoid. And yeah,
Yeah. In fact, I
yeah,
think you start feeling that when you have a purpose, it doesn't feel like work. That's
yes, yes,
exactly the state
true,
that you
true,
are in right now.
true, yeah.
In, in fact, I'd also like to touch upon another aspect, that is the addictions will also arise when people start blaming the entire world responsible for their failure.
Mm,
They do not realize that they have to get inwards and start correcting where they have to correct, because ultimately we are responsible for our lives, right?
yes.
People may do 101 things to us, but it also depends who are we giving our power away to.
Mm,
And also, we cannot definitely have control over somebody else's behavior, but we can have control over how we want to be.
yeah. I
So,
also have this experience with my family and friends.
yeah. So the power always lies within us. So, Edwin, I have one more question to ask you. Why do you think the youth of today are finding it very difficult to be even vulnerable?
Yeah, vulnerability. I think we have this view of always being strong, wanting to be strong, and not showing our weak sides. Like exposing ourselves doesn't feel right because then it feels like you are giving away your pain points, and the other part, like the other guy or girl that is there, can directly attack you because you're showing your pain sides. And vulnerabilities is something that I myself, I'm just getting like introduced to this, and Guruji is also talking about it often. And I wonder like if you could tell me a little bit more about vulnerabilities, and why should we even expose them?
Your answer lies there, actually.
Mm,
Only when you speak about your vulnerability will you find an answer for it. Saying so, I'm not telling you should be vulnerable everywhere. No,
mm,
you have to be vulnerable in safe places.
mm. Is vulnerability also when I tell myself my weak points? Let's say if I acknowledge that I'm not happy right now, is this also kind of exposing my vulnerabilities to myself?
Vulnerability to exposing vulnerability to yourself is the first point. Yes, you have to start exposing that part first.
Yeah,
Only then will you start seeking answers for it,
yeah.
right?
Now, yeah, now it makes a little bit more sense because I was constantly thinking about exposing your vulnerabilities to other people, but I think most of us are struggling to be honest with ourselves, and like we first have to learn how to just acknowledge and be honest to ourselves before we go out there and yeah, tell somebody about our vulnerabilities. And in this point, there is also, I think, you really have to um, like choose who you are opening up to, because I think there's also the wrong people that you can open up to, which will take advantage of you.
Yeah. So most often what happens is a friend or a relative or any other person may just be the sounding board, or they may just give you a leaning shoulder, but they may not have the professional ability to help you to get out. And sometimes they
Yeah.
may be biased also.
Mhm. Yeah, often, and what I experience often, and what I also saw that it maybe feels good to like to talk with somebody about one's problems, but often it will not really solve the problem. It will only feel like make you feel a little bit better temporarily, but since uh, you don't really look for look for a solution to the problem, you are not really solving it. You are rather like finding a temporarily um yeah mood to get over it.
Yeah, temporary cushion. That's all.
Yes,
So
yes.
at times, so many times we just try to brush everything under the carpet and say, okay, everything's going to be fine. No, it'll not be, because sometimes in the future it may just have a snowball effect and it'll
Yeah,
just burst out. So it's very important to acknowledge it, acknowledge what we are going through in the initial stages and be vulnerable
yeah,
to ourselves first, and then
yeah,
start seeking support.
yeah. Actually, there is like one story that comes into my mind when it comes to suppressing our vulnerabilities. Back then, when I had a girlfriend, I remember it was like the beginning of my journey where I started to become more conscious of my life, and I wanted to break out of it and become happier again. And it was a really hard time in my life. Because I had nobody who was like thinking the same, and I was just going into this uh, unknowingness, and I was just reading books. I wanted to become free from everything, free from money, free from the environment that we are in. And this is why I had plans of creating something on my own and making my money with it. And there was a lot of work to do in this time, and I often found myself wanting to escape like my this work. And what I did, I went to my girlfriend, and I knew like, okay, when I'm there, I don't have to really deal with my problems or with the work that I have to do. And while I'm there, it was all nice and good. There was no work. But as soon as I stepped like back into my house, there was like all of these problems still waiting for me, and I just realized that I can't like continue making it like this, because I have to find this actual solution to my problems and obstacles. Otherwise, they will always wait for me until I get back to my work.
Yeah. So also, at times, Edwin, it takes courage and guts to take that first step towards
Yeah,
transformation.
yeah, yeah,
In
definitely.
fact, I should say courage and guts is really sexy. Stepping
Mm,
out of the comfort zone is what will define us. Often, sticking to comfort zones, we just feel that we are safe, but we will never grow. So,
mm.
growth will always start happening when we step out of our comfort zone. So, finding our purpose and starting to live it gives us a naturally elated feeling, I feel.
Yes, yes, definitely. Yeah,
So,
you automatically feel better. Mm.
yeah. Edwin, can you share a few tips on how you are building your energy since you're already on the yoga right now?
Yeah.
Yoga part. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm following the practices that our Guruji is giving us. The practice, I think, if you want to call it practice, is called Devi Maryada. It's it's like a routine that you follow, and there are certain rules that you should not break, because they will simply just take away your clarity and energy as well. It's looking if the sun has set, I don't expose my like eyes to artificial light too much. At least I try to avoid it as much as possible, because the body will still think that it is like 12 at noon, like still daytime, even though it's already 10 p.m. and you're about to go to sleep. And then you go to sleep, and your sleep is automatically has a less quality, because your body still thinks it's day, even though you know it's night. This is one of the ways to not expose yourself to artificial light. The other thing that I learned is that really, really um, affects me or people strongly is eating after the sun has set again. Like it's dark outside, you should not eat, or not, especially not eat heavy meals, and not eat before you go to sleep, because your body will just digest, like put all of his energy to digest the food that you have instead of resting and getting like your energy back. And then you wake up in the morning and your belly is still full and you feel like you haven't rested. And yeah, the and in general also like food habits, it's like what we are what we eat, like there's like the saying, and it is really like this. And many, like especially young people, they just eat whatever they want. I myself was somebody like this. I was eating like for weeks, months, like 2 pizzas a day and like some sweet things and and I wasn't feeling good, and I had no clarity over life. I had no purpose, and I was just like wandering around. And yeah, and there are a few more things that we can do, but I would recommend, if the person that is watching this is really eager and wants to get answers to his questions and get energy and clarity, then he should watch Guru Pashupati on YouTube and yeah, follow his practices, because this is something that changed my life since I have met our Guruji. And yeah.
So this was great, and I think many of the youth will benefit from what you are practicing. I think if I just go back and remember what was I during when I was your age, I can't even remember what I was really doing. So
Yeah, yeah.
I'm glad that you have at least found your clarity and purpose. Yeah.
Starting point. Yeah. Ah, it was really nice talking to you. You gave me nice insights, and hopefully also make the audience think about things, because it's also some like growth is happening like this, right? When we get like when certain thought patterns are stimulated, or when somebody's poking us, and then we start to move. Hi again. Unfortunately, we lost the last seconds of this video, but it's not that bad. We already covered the most important things. And yeah, if you're currently in a weird state of life where you're not truly happy and you want to make some changes and also find your true purpose, then you can contact Suchita and also me by the link in the description. I will leave a link from her website and also a link to my WhatsApp where you can get directly in touch with me. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this one and got some value out of this. See you in the next video.